Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Okay, it's February. We got the hot days of 49 and then the cold days and all that beautiful snow, right? Anyway, have the guests come back on because a couple of weeks ago we went to Trenton, Winterfest, and we had Ashley on before that. I said, but you have to come now since you had the first year with Winterfest. You had people come through. We had the snow there, and all that fun. You even had to have your husband come out and do some shoveling.
Yes.
So anyway, for people that maybe didn't even know it went on, how did the Winterfest idea actually come about?
Well, me and John have talked for a little while, and we were always thinking about different stuff. He approached me and said, what are you thinking about, this Winterfest? We can include, all the downtown shops and businesses. He arranged the beer tent and all of the extra activities at the corner of West and West Jefferson. And it's kind of one of those where it's slower months for us as far as like the decor world and the stores. So we always think of something to do outside of the box and in the winter. So I thought this is kind of a pretty cool idea. Instead of us just having a normal event, we can kind of include the whole city and then bring everybody downtown.
Okay, so you started with that, and you both.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get some of the other stores involved?
Well, we just wrote up a letter and then we dropped them off to all of the businesses down there. Some of them weren't open, so we tried our best to get the ones that we could. So hopefully next year we've got a lot of feedback on things, people were concerned about, or, some that wanted to participate that couldn't. So we may even expand the street a little bit more, bring in more businesses, and then the ones in Trenton that are not downtown, we're thinking to make a spot for them so they can even participate.
Really?
Yeah, so it'll be to where we can include everybody in Trenton, not just the downtown area. Okay. So we're going through more ideas and kind of getting new stuff, so this year will be even better.
Well, what was different about your weekend? That's when the Ice Arena had a lot of activity there.
They did.
How did that shuttle system go? Did you actually get a lot of people from there into town?
As far as we know from our numbers and things that we looked at, as far as the store, we brought in more people than the street fair the weekend that we had. Mm-hmm. But as far as I know, they had at least 3,500, if not more, come through the beer tent and the activities at the corner.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they did shuttle back and forth from the ice arena, and then they actually had the swim meet for the high school. Mm-hmm. So they actually had that stop too. So there were about 30 to 40 schools in the high school, and then we had over 40 schools at the ice arena. Which we didn't know about the swimming thing until last minute.
Well, that was sort of up in the air because when it comes to crowds or schools or parents, they might not want to always stay around after their school is done with whatever, and they want to go home.
Well, it was nice too because a lot of the schools were kind of local, so there was only some that were a little bit of a drive to where they had to stay there and kind of do local things.
Yeah,
but some of them were local, so they didn't mind driving and parking and walking and stuff. So it was nice.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago after the Winterfest, we did put a couple of things on for them to see. I was really impressed with the sculptures. Now, how did this all come about? You said
so when we talked about sculptures, we we wanted to include somebody local, and we knew they went to a local college. Wayne, I believe, is where he was from. Don't quote me on that, but I know he was local as far as he went to school. He was, in the Downriver area. So he ended up starting a business. He was in Commerce Township. So I just kind of got on Facebook and typed in ice sculptures, and he was the first one that popped up, and we got a lot of good reviews from them. We kind of looked and seen what kind of ice sculptures he did, and next year I think we're going to work more on letting people kind of choose, because this year we kind of just let him choose
for them.
Yeah. So next year we're going to kind of let people decide what they want to do, and I mean, I think
Okay.
it'll be exciting.
But they were sort of appropriate. I mean, the hot dogs and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there's a knife and fork at the restaurants and
Yeah, I mean, he did pretty good. So it was pretty cool going around and seeing all the different ice sculptures that we had. We had 18 total.
it would be interesting to go watch what he does.
We're
And-
hoping next year to actually include that too. So I
Yeah.
should say this year, not next year, because it's already February. But we are hoping that that'll be something that we can do, because it'll be fun for the kids and, you know, include kind of something different.
Yeah. I liked it for a simple reason. It was like half the dimension that we had in mind. We had usually the square, and even though, like you said, you might have it next year where they took their equipment and actually formed their, image
Yeah.
in the ice while you're watching it, and you go, wow.
Yeah.
But you had like a half of that in the width part, but it even had little decorations on it. I mean, he knew how to work.
They turned out really good. I was
Yeah.
more nervous because I didn't want them to be too big, because then I was scared of how I was going to get rid of it. But with the weather,
Yeah.
you never know what's going on anymore. But it just happened to melt like a few days later, so we were good to go.
Okay. Anyway, what do you plan on next year, or is it sort of like let's take a little breather and?
So I'm going in between changing up a few things, obviously making it a little bit larger. I want to have more vendors on the street. We want to include more ice sculptures. We want to try and do maybe a carriage ride type thing around downtown, if we could do that. More outdoor games, I guess. And I mean, if it snows, we could try and figure out something with, sledding and all that. Snowball fights. I mean, we don't know what the next one will bring, but we have a list of ideas that we want to add and kind of make it a grow every year, as we say.
Well, that should be interesting, especially if you have a group that's saying, "Hey, let's try this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't know till you try, and that's kind of the thing I've always said is everybody kind of looks at me crazy when, I start new businesses or, things are moving so fast, and I'm one of those where if you don't at least try it, you can't say,
Right.
to me, you either try and
You don't know if
it works,
will,
or
yeah.
if you failed, at least you can say you tried.
Yeah, that's how we used to. Barbara always says, one of our directors many years ago, he was fairly new coming out of college, so he had a lot of ideas like, what can we do? Can we do this? And he got the group to try and said, well, if it works, we know. If it
Right.
doesn't, you learned,
Yeah.
And I think that's why we used to have a lot of people, because it was fun. And you have to have fun while you're working or enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the nice thing. So even though I keep bringing new businesses, I at least enjoy what I'm doing.
You mentioned to me, you talk about new businesses. You're also going to start a new one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a new adventure for us. I used to do a lot of my own crafting, is where Grace's Woodcutter, our flat rock store, started.
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of crafting, a lot of decor and stuff myself, which a lot of plants and stuff that I've always dealt with were not alive, they were fake. So I didn't have to worry about, anything happening to them. So this is kind of a new adventure for me, but we have a lot of people on board. We have a lot of people that are going to help us learn, different ways of the florist life. So, I mean, I have a little bit of help in the back, but it's going to be fun. We have like a succulent bar that we're going to have every day. You can have your build your own bouquet bar. We'll have arrangements ready. We'll have artificial stuff. We'll have outdoor. We'll do things for the cemetery in the wintertime. So we're going to slowly pick up weddings.
Okay.
We'll slowly get into the wedding, homecoming, prom, but we will limit ourselves. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, so we'll do like custom orders and stuff like that. So we'll kind of stop if it gets too much.
Okay.
So it's not like overpowering to where we want it to be more of a flower shop that you come and enjoy. Not a flower shop that you just call and order things from, or, we want you to enjoy the shop. So that's kind of more of what I'm going for.
Okay. For some of us that do not know Trenton that well,
Yeah.
where is it going to be?
It's right across the street from All About Grace. It is next to the Grand, so it's 2671,
Okay.
and we named it Love You Bunches and Bunches.
What is it?
Love You Bunches and Bunches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I don't have much spare time, but the spare time that I do, I spend with my family.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
The more I talk to you, I think, ooh, I mean, they say we're nuts for time we spend here, but
I enjoy it though. So it's
Yeah.
one of those where for this, it's kind of, we've started off with All About Grace, which has, over 100 vendors. That store is kind of established now and,
it's packed
all the time.
all the time, yeah.
So Grace's Woodco now is kind of like our second baby, which my husband has a partner too, him and our partner Len, which make a lot of the wood items and stuff. We do custom stuff in there. We
Okay.
have like charcuterie boards, and it's more home items like silverware, pillows, blankets. It's kind of different from All About Grace, so we kind of have the best of both worlds, I tell people. So whatever they can't find at All About Grace, I send them to the other one, so they got two options of places to shop. But the flower shop is more kind of, I look more for like a therapy thing for me. Like I'm kind of excited about it because I haven't been able to do much as far as like crafting and, building things and doing things myself because I was always handy. So I feel like this is kind of more of a, what do they call it? It's kind of challenging, I guess. So I'm kind of up for it and I'm kind of excited. We'll see.
Well, you're also going to learn more. And
Yeah.
by that, you're going to, be more creative and you're
My
Yeah.
mind will just keep going, don't worry.
I'm glad you had a chance to come back because I know when I called you after that, you said, I don't feel too good. I figured, well, you've been going, what, a month and a half, 2 months, like
My
full
body
speed ahead, and finally your body goes boom.
Yeah, I was like, we're done. You need a break. But I'm back now. We're good.
Okay, all right. And when will the flower shop be open?
The flower shop, we plan to open the second weekend in March, the 12th.
Okay.
So we will be there from 10 to 4. We have the coffee trailer that will be up front that will be serving coffee, iced coffee, the one that we had at the Winterfest. And then we have a vendor that is popping in for cookies. They'll have flowered sugar cookies, so they'll be all decorated with flowers, and then we'll have giveaways and
Okay.
hopefully have a really good day.
I'll tell you what, we went down to the bakery, and I hadn't been there in years. And but my daughter used to take her kids. They used to go, St.
Yeah.
Joe's school.
Oh, okay, behind.
And they'd
Yep.
go for some dessert or something once in a while. And she said, "Oh yeah, this looks comfortable. We used to come here all the time." And I like their color scheme. I like the small table that they have for the kids.
It's very homey in there.
Yeah.
It is. Their hot chocolate's really good too.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Just noted.
Okay. We took some goodies home
yeah.
too that time, but yeah, that was fine. Anyway, I thank you for coming. Giving us more information.
Oh, yeah.
And
So if anybody that couldn't make it this year, we do have the one coming up, but remember, it is always the first weekend of February.
first weekend of February.
Yes, no matter what. Always Friday and Saturday, first weekend of February.
Okay. Are you? You don't know exactly how the ice arena is going to be. Do they usually coincide about
Oh, yeah,
the same time?
that's why we did it that weekend, because it's always the first weekend for them. It has been for over 20 years. So that's why we decided to do it. So it is always this first weekend in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before next season, you got to make sure you come and remind us about going.
Yeah, I
Did you
know.
ever find out anything about the Grozeel one? They were supposed to have one, but then I didn't see too much about it after that.
I thought I got an alert on Facebook that said that there was an event for that, but then I didn't see anything else about it, so I'm not sure.
It seemed like they changed their mind or something.
They may have.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, this doesn't, February's already coming to an end.
I know. We have
Yeah.
our reset at the All About Grace for Easter and spring, so we'll be switching the store up again. So
Okay.
I'll open the flower shop and then I'll reset All About Grace all over again.
Okay. Anyway, there's something happening this weekend, and a couple weekends ago, I went with the group of American Legion to a conference down in Lansing, and it was interesting because it was full of people, different nationalities, different areas of Michigan coming from. You get a chance to talk to them all the time and get to know what they're doing at their, Legion or club. And then at the same time, you go for conferences and learning sessions all the time. So this was my third one that I went to. But this place, I think it was what really intrigued me was the elevators that are inside the building. You're sitting in the lobby, and all of a sudden you look up, and the elevator's going up just like that and coming back down. And I said, wow. So I said, I have to get a little picture of that just to get an idea.
Yeah.
But something is happening this Saturday. American Legion 217 on the river, Van Alstyne, is giving Officer Daniel Cole an award for being Officer of the Year. So if you see him around town, I hear he's the bicycle cop. So look for a bicycle cop and say, are you Daniel?
Just yell out the window as you're driving by.
Yeah. And also Friday, go to Indian Lanes bowling if you want to. They're having the fundraiser for the Women's Scholarship Fund. And Tom Wilson does that with some of the group. We know that is happening at, I think it's 5 o'clock. Or should I say something? Anyway, get in touch, find out how you can participate. They're also having different raffles, the 50-50s and cheer raffle and all this stuff. On Sunday, we had Kelly on, and she told us about the citywide chili contest that's taking place at PRCU Hall, and that's at 3 o'clock. By 4:30, they should have announce the winners of the chili contest, and if you want to have a sample, like she said, all you have to do is pay $5 for a spoon. I wouldn't bring one from home, really. It'd be defeating the purpose. But anyway, that's something this weekend, and that's taking us into March.
February's already gone.
All gone. All gone.
On to the next one.
Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
Keep up the good work.
I will.
I'll have to come down there and see you and tease you and that.
Of course. I'm always around.
Okay. Take care. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye-bye now.